India has decided to strengthen its aerial might by buying 33 Russian jets. Indian Navy and Indian Air Force, on the other hand, are on high alert and doing heavy patrol near the Ladakh and the Malacca Strait regions. The proposal for buying 12 new Sukhoi and MiG-29 jets has been forwarded to Indian government for very urgent purchase from Russia, which will be a 5,000 crore worth deal. Mostly it will be approved this week. This is the second lot of purchase after the 36 Rafale jets. This comes at a time where India and China locked in a serious standoff in Ladakh region. Also, India wants to buy the spare equipments with the purchase of 33 jets from Russia. Indian Air Force are patrolling along the LAC with the fighter jets and the scrambled radar-based planes along with the LAC. When the Chinese intrusion occurred in India, Indian Air Force went into high alert. India's Apache helicopters were seen patrolling the Leh-Ladakh region, and the upgraded Chinook transport helicopters, designed to carry M777 artillery, underslung beneath its fuselage, reported by the NDTV. Notably, the tension has arrived after the escalations in the Ladakh region. Indian Navy also is in high alert. In the recent years, Chinese vessels are spotted near the Indian waters. As many Indian officers have said before, Beijing or the Chinese may not try more in the LAC, but its important route of trade near Malacca Strait, which is very close to the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, where the Indian Navy base and the Air Force base is located away from the Indian mainland. India have its edge here, as it's considered Indian Ocean as its backyard, but recent development and already as Chinese submarines and vessels are intruding near the Indian waters. Strategically, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands is immovable aircraft carrier for India, said by a defense expert in 2012. In September 2019, the Indian Navy forced Chinese research vessel Xi'an-1 to return after it entered India's exclusive economic zone in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. It can become the next intrusion hotspot for India if Chinese decided so. Already, Chinese Navy has hugely increased its naval assets for long distancing. India is also slowly getting into the game. So what do you think of Indian Navy and Indian Air Force is on high alert in Ladakh and the Indian Ocean region? Can India block Chinese intrusion in the waters if it occurred? And will the newly purchasing jets can be a bigger strength for Indian Air Force?
India and Russia on Tuesday sealed a USD of $500 million deal for a construction of 2 missile frigates in Goa for the Indian Navy, sending a clear signal of continuing with high-level defense collaborations notwithstanding the US warning of sanctions. The official said that the agreement for manufacturing of 2 Talwar-class warships was signed between the Defense PSU Goa Shipyard Limited and the Russia Strait and Defense Major Rosban Export under the government-to-government frameworks for defense cooperation. Under the deal, Russia will provide design, technology known and how to make it, and key materials to GSL for construction of the ships in India. The ships will be fitted with most advanced missiles and other weapon systems. We have finalized a USD of $500 million deal with Russia for the construction of 2 warships in Goa, said CMD of GSL Shekhar Mittal. He said the construction of the ships will begin in 2020 and the first one will be ready for induction in 2026, while the second one will be ready by 2027. The two sides already finalized another deal amounting about USD of $1 billion, under which Russia will be supplying 2 frigates to India by 2023. The Tuesday's agreement, or the last week agreement, came nearly 6 weeks after India signed an agreement with Russia to buy a batch of S-400 air defense systems of missiles at a cost of $5 billion. India is going ahead with mega defense deals with Russia, disregarding the warnings by the US of sanctions. The Trump administration has put several Russian firms under sanctions and are countering America's adversaries through Sanction Act, or the CATS Act. The US said the countries engaged with Russia's defense firms may also face actions under CATS Act. India has been hoping to get a waiver from the US on the deals it was signing with Russia. Russia has been India's largest defense supplier, and also the defense and the security cooperation has been on the upswing between the two countries in the last few years. Yesterday, the Russian defense major Rosbanexport emerged as the lowest bidder in the Indian Army tender for the procurement of a batch of short-range air defense missile system, said some officials from India. The other contenders for the deal were the Swedish firm Saab and French military firm MBDA. The size of the contract is likely to be around $3 billion. So what do you think of India-Russia finalized a $500 million deal even after the warning of US sanctions, and India and Russia are getting closer and buying arms and weapons and missile systems more than it's expected, with more closer deals? And taking up India to an auto industry of electric vehicles push, in New Delhi, India's aggressive push to electrify all the new vehicles by 2030 is compelling auto parts manufacturers and car makers to draw up early plans for electrifications, the company executives said. A new auto policy is in the work and will include a roadmap for electric vehicles, government officials of India said in a statement, adding that this is likely to be made public before the year end. Engines maker Cummins India is investing research and electric mobility solutions for India. While Hyundai Motor Corp has begun talk with some of its suppliers for components for electric cars, company executives said in a statement. Ashok Leyland, which landed an electric bus last year, has partnered with Indian startup Sun Mobility to develop battery-swinging technologies for cars, buses and trucks. This is going to be a major challenge, but it is one we have to embrace and not duck, Anand Talusilekar, managing director of Cummins India, said. He said commercial vehicles makers in India have asked Cummins to look into electric mobility solutions, and only once they have a proposals with the company commit to a capital investments. It will not happen so soon. First we need to demonstrate the technology, he said, adding that the company is open to acquisitions and partnerships as it would help access to the technology faster. Electric vehicles are expensive due to the high cost of batteries, which are still not manufactured in India. And the car makers say a lack of charging stations could make the whole propositions unviable. But the government is determined to push ahead. In a stern warning to auto industries, India's Road Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari on Thursday asked the companies to start building electrics and alternative fuel vehicles at risk being overtaken by the policy changes. Don't get confused about the policies and the rules foreign to electric bikes, buses and cars. I won't seek suggestions over this. You have to diversify, said Gadkari. In many, India's leading think tank laid out a 15-year roadmap for electrifying all the new vehicles in the country by limiting registrations for petrol and diesel cars while giving incentives and subsidies on sales of electric cars. Electric car sales in India, one of the world's fastest growing car markets, are negligible compared with the annual sales of over 3 million petrol and diesel cars last fiscal year, according to industry data. Mahindra & Mahindra is the only electric car maker in India, but in the few years it will be joined by Tata Motors, which has explored the possibility of building electric cars on its existing platform. Managing Director Gunther Batusk said. Hyundai, which self-plans to launch a hybrid cars in India of the government's electric push, said in a statement it will need to customize its existing electric cars for Indian market. If it is unable to adapt existing products, it will look at developing a new electric cars for India, said Rakesh Srivastav, the Director Sales and Marketing of Hyundai. The Korean carmaker has begun talks with its existing suppliers, but it's also open to form new partnerships to source components for electric cars. We would like to take a fresh look because we will need volumes, Srivastav of Hyundai said. Post your comments below, and if you like this video, please give a thumbs up and follow us on social networks and subscribe to our channel. And thanks for watching. This is WC Daily. Think big, think different. Bye.